Just yesterday, we got a special announcement. This is the 12 and under dry land calendar. We are going to email this out to your parents. Each day gives you a list of different dry land exercises. If you complete both weeks, you get this Piranha t-shirt. Now again, there are directions on here. Your parents have to sign off on it. This will be emailed out and posted on our social media links. And I'm gonna bring in my good friend and colleague, Jessica Van Skyver, Director of Health and Wellness here at the Y, and she's gonna help us demonstrate these dry land exercises so you know what you're doing when you're doing these. So without any further ado, we're gonna get started.
Yeah.
Start with a 5-minute dynamic warm-up. Jess is gonna run me through that warm-up, and we're gonna go through the first day's exercises. So Jess.
You ready, Hank?
Yes.
All right, we're gonna start with jumping jacks for 30 seconds. You guys ready at home? In 3, 2, 1. 30 seconds here. 1. All right, we're gonna do a side lunge with a reach. So we're gonna bring those feet out nice and wide here. We're gonna push those hips all the way back as we reach laterally on the outside of that foot, back through the center and back up. You're gonna feel a nice stretch through that adductor, inner part of your leg. 2, 1. We're gonna bring those legs back together. We're gonna go right into an inchworm. So we're gonna roll down through the spine, walk those hands all the way out into a high plank, pause for a second, and then walk it back in. Bend those knees, roll up, and reach up.
Can an alternative be with a push-up?
Yeah, sure, we can add a push-up, make it a little bit harder. Warm up those shoulders a little bit more. Reach up, back down, knock it out. I'm gonna add 10 more seconds here. Nice job. All right, next one, we're gonna drop down into a high plank here. Hands are just underneath those shoulders, and then we're gonna do some hip openers. So we're gonna step outside those hands. You could stay here, or if you feel super flexible, you're gonna tap that elbow down onto the floor, and then bring that foot back and switch. Tap that elbow down, switch. Again. And then we're gonna come back up. We're gonna go right through it one more round through to complete a 5-minute warm up. And there you have it. All right, so the next move is gonna be a basic sit up. All right, so proper form here. You wanna plant those feet on the floor. Feet are about hip width distance apart. We're gonna lie all the way down, extend those arms behind our head, okay? We're gonna use some momentum from our arms to sit up. But the key here is to not lift those feet as you come up from the floor. You ready, Hank?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We're gonna do a few different reps. All right, so ready? 3, 2, 1. We're gonna sit all the way up, reach for those toes, and then back down. All the way up, and back down. So the key here is to control it right here, right? So you don't wanna just fall and let all that body weight release. You wanna think about those muscles controlling all the way down, okay? You can use your arms here as momentum and press those feet into the floor. Right, so that's gonna activate all of your lower abdominal muscles as well. All right, give me 2 more, Hank. 2, and 1. Nice job.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're gonna show you how to do a shoulder tap, okay? This is an exercise that's great for the shoulders as well as the core. So we're gonna get down into a high plank here.
I'll turn this way.
Awesome. All right, so hands are directly underneath those shoulders. Your legs are about hip width apart. You're shooting through the back of those heels as well as the crown of your head forward. You're gonna pull that belly button in, and you're gonna tap one shoulder. Lift your opposite hand, and you're gonna come back down, shoulder width apart. You're gonna keep pulling that core in to try to avoid shifting those hips back and forth, right? So try to keep that core in the center. Lift those shoulders. Lift those hands to tap those shoulders
Pretty tough.
and pull that core. Yeah, it would be. I don't want to attempt it. Give me 2 more. 2, 1, time. All right, this next move is called a T-drill. So we're gonna get into a plank position, and then we're gonna rotate towards each side to form a T-drill. So high plank position here. You're gonna extend those legs out straight, pull the core in, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna shift your weight towards one side as you rotate towards the ceiling. Lift that arm up, back to the center, and switch. So my feet are rotating, and I'm keeping that core strong as I rotate and reach for the ceiling and look up. All right, give me 2 more reps, Hank.
Now, what are some of the mistakes people can make with this exercise?
So some of the mistakes people can make is drooping through the hips, right? And rotating and keeping those hips drooped. So you want to keep those hips lifted, right? So activating those obliques here. And we're looking up towards that ceiling, okay?
Now, what about overextension? I always often see people like way back here. Is that
So
necessary?
It won't hurt you, but you can, for stability purposes, you want to keep it right in line. So
And
that
reach for the
hand-
sky?
Yep, and that hand and shoulder. You want to think about all those joints lining up, right? So my wrist, my elbow, and my shoulder are lined up, as well as this side of my body too.
Although they're not easy, they feel pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice work. Go. All right, so this next movement is called the leg lift. So this is gonna work your lower abdominal muscles. We're gonna lie all the way down onto our back. We're gonna extend those feet up in the air, okay? You're gonna plant your hands down onto the floor and you're gonna press against the floor as you lower those legs. Another option for more support is lifting those hips up and placing your hands underneath your hips, okay? Either one will still work those lower abdominal muscles. So you're gonna lower those legs, nice and controlled here, pulling in your belly button and bringing it back up. Now, if you feel your back creeping up, just go at a more shallow angle and then bring it back in, okay? Or if you feel really strong, go all the way down and bring them back up. Pulling that belly button in. I'm shaking, are you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Woo! All right, give me 2 more. 1 more, pulling that core in and bringing it back up.
What I'm going to show is what I like to call a swimmer leg lift or a butterfly kick. This is the way I learned them as a swimmer because it more mimics the butterfly kick in butterfly. So hands are underneath, and it's a little shorter. So you're going a little faster, a little shorter, and it's more like a butterfly kick.
Nice.
And what are some of the modifications we can make to the high leg lift?
So the high leg lift, again, is just thinking about coming to a more shallow angle and then bringing it back up so that low back doesn't creep up off the floor. Another option here is you can bend one knee, make sure it's 90 degrees directly over that hip, and you could just do one leg at a time.
Okay, I'm sorry I asked. This is harder.
I didn't say it was going to be easier. All right, next exercise is going to be a plank. So we're going to demonstrate 2 different versions, a high plank and a low plank. So I'm going to have Hank get into a low plank because it's a little bit harder, right? You like to see your coach sweat a little bit. So he's going to focus on lining up those shoulders with his elbows. He's going to lengthen through the top of his head. He's keeping his head lifted, right? So his neck is in line with his spine, right? He's not drooping through the hips. So he's keeping those hips lifted, pulling in through the core, and he's avoiding keeping those hips up. And he's extending through the legs, through those heels, right? So his legs are working here too. So everything in a plank.
I'm shaking quite a bit right
now. Right? So that's a low plank. And then what I'm going to show you guys is I'm going to come into a high plank, same form that Hank was in. Okay, I'm going to extend through the back of my heels, lift my head up so that my head, neck is in line with my spine. And I'm just extending everything out and pulling in through the belly button and breathing in through the nose.
And if you need a little help with this, you could move your feet apart. Your fingers are pointing forward and not out to the side. You could also, I believe, separate them if you want a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more help with your shoulders. You should feel this where? Core?
Your whole core, so your whole abdominal muscle, your shoulders, your legs are going to take on some of that weight. And if you want a little bit more of a challenging plank, all you got to do is lift one leg, but make sure you really keep everything nice and strong here, okay? You can alternate if you want.
It's not easy, is it?
No, I'm shaking.
When you're done with your workout, it's always good to do some stretching. If you noticed in the beginning of the workout, we did some dynamic movements to warm up. End of workout, we could do some stretching. I'm gonna do some of my favorite stretches. One of them is gonna look familiar because it's also part of the warm up. You're gonna get down on your knees. You get into a Spider-Man. All right, from here, I like to do 2 things. Take your right hand, grab the right foot, left arm in the air. You can do that 4 or 5 times. And you can put the left arm down, right arm in the air. Okay. Also from the same position, I like doing some trunk twists. Now again, probably a better one to do would be arm reaches. It's a little less on your lower back, but nonetheless a good stretch. From here, again, put your left arm down, right hand on your leg, push that knee out a little bit, feel that in your hip flexor, Feels really nice. And then you can lean back into a hamstring stretch. Maybe grab your toe, point the toe, pull it towards you, sit back, maybe get your butt up a little bit, head, chest towards the knee. Okay, so you feel it right in the back of your hamstring. Now you can do this on both sides, which will take you about 3 or 4 minutes. The last one I like doing, which is a little bit more advanced. You gotta be careful because you don't want to feel this in your knee, you want to feel this more in your hips. Push-up position, leg underneath, and just relax. You should feel this here. You should not feel it in your knee. If you feel it in your knee, take your opposite hip and roll towards, or not actually your hip and roll towards the floor. And if you could even get a little lower, head down, arms out. The last one I'm going to show you, if you could get to a wall in your house, it's great for your shoulders. Stretching them out a little bit more by dynamic movement than a stretch, but nonetheless really good. Get your arms out, reach them up, come on back down. Okay, wall slides. Really good. Again, if you're having a little hard time with your hands on the wall, probably you need to loosen up those shoulders. If nothing else, try and hold as best you can, or maybe it's hold and a reach. Either way, just trying to get those shoulders back and stretching out those muscles a little bit in the front upper pecs and in your back, which I believe are your scaps and your lats, and just a little bit of stretching at the end of your workout.